over the flat alpha technique. The flat alpha technique is used in alpha bracelets to switch between working colors. So I'll be going over the difference between a normal switching technique and a flat alpha switching technique, although I suggest that you are familiar with the normal switching technique before we begin. Then I'll be showing you how to do the flat alpha technique, as well as outlining some special circumstances in which doing the technique might be a little difficult, and I'll show you how to do them. So first let's establish the difference between the normal alpha technique and the flat alpha technique. So I'll show you the difference between a normal and a flat alpha knot. So the difference between the normal alpha technique and the flat alpha technique is that the normal alpha technique can sometimes be a little bit bumpy. Regardless of how good of a knotter or how many years you've been knotting, the normal alpha technique is usually much more bumpy and sort of irregular than the flat alpha technique. And so the flat alpha technique kind of exists to help alleviate some of that bumpiness, and as the name suggests, it makes the bracelet a lot flatter because it sort of smooths out all of the strings that are being carried over in the back. So first let's look at the difference between a normal alpha switch and a flat alpha switch. Right now I'm working with this white string, and I'm going to be switching from this white string to a black string. So in order to do that the normal way, we're going to be bringing the black string up and bringing the white string down and to the left. And so then this leaves the black string up, and then I'm going to just knot as normal, so do one double forward knot over here. And so that's not too bad. This is the technique that I recommend for beginners to do, but if you've done this and you're ready to graduate to a little bit more of a sophisticated knot, then I guess this is the video for you. Now I'll be showing you what entails a flat alpha switch. So the pattern actually calls for yellow in this case, and I have to attach that right now. I'm actually making this egg bracelet for another video, so that's why I just started in the middle of an egg. You just open this video and you're like, ah, half an egg. Very nice. So to make a flat alpha switch between the yellow and the black, I'm going to bring that yellow up. First, the black should be up and above. So the black is sort of in the front of the bracelet, it's not behind yet, and bringing the yellow bracelet up. And so I'm going to bring it, since I'm going to be knotting a double forward knot, I'm going to be knotting the first half of the double forward knot. And some people disagree. They're like, why do you call it a double forward knot if it's only one knot? You're only knotting over one string. That's confusing and I don't like it. And I say to that case, well, designating it as a forward knot can be confusing, because when I say forward backward knot, that's two kinds of knots, but when I say forward knot, that's only one knot. So does that imply you only do one knot over a bracelet? I think it kind of does. And also it can be much less confusing referring to a double forward knot as a double forward knot in this case, because here I'd argue you're doing a single forward knot over this string, and then you would bring the black string over the string that you just did half of a knot on, or a forward knot, and you bring that underneath and bring that to the back of the bracelet, and then you would finish that knot, so bringing the yellow string over and around. And so that way that transition is much cleaner, I think. And I'll just knot again because the pattern calls for 2 yellow knots. So I'll do that again. Sometimes with the flat alpha technique, the black string can poke out a little bit, so I'll just pull and that kind of eliminates it. So I'll just show this to you again just to solidify this for you because the pattern wants me to switch back to black. So I'm going to bring the black up and I'm going to do one forward knot. So not a double forward knot, just a regular forward knot. And then bring the yellow string down, over, and to the back. And so this yellow string is over that first half of the double forward knot. And then I'm going to bring the black string back down and finish the double forward knot. Now, this double alpha switch can be a little bit confusing or hard to perform when you are switching between multiple strings in a row. So say I just did a switch between a yellow and a black string, and now I'm switching between a black string and a white string. And that could be kind of confusing to get all the strings straight because you still kind of have the yellow string and the black string both poking out of this one string. So that's sort of our first special case, is subsequent color switches. So essentially it's the same technique, just be careful. So I'll kind of be showing you how to keep those colors in order. So for our first string, we have the yellow string kind of poking out. I'm just going to bring that up and to the right just to get it out of the way. Then I'm going to bring the white string into the center of attention because that's the one we're going to be knotting with next. And then do a half double forward knot and switch like regularly with the black string. So bring that black string over the string you just knotted with, bring it down and under, and then bring the white string back up and do a double forward knot. And that's kind of how you do it. If I were to switch to blue, for example, or back to black, I would do it a different way, but we're just knotting regularly. There's another scenario in which you will be alternating colors, and it can be kind of hard to figure out from the flat alpha technique. I think I figured it out. Some people might do it different ways, but this is the way that I kind of figured it out. So the pattern doesn't call for this. Actually, my pattern doesn't call for this anywhere, but I'm going to make the knot and then undo it sneakily just so I can show you how to do it. But let's assume that we're switching first from white to black, which the pattern does say. I'm going to switch using the regular flat alpha technique. So I'm going to bring my black string up and then do half of a knot. And then instead of bringing the white string down, I'm just going to lay it across. And you'll see why this is helpful in a minute. So I'm just gonna lay it across so it's still on top of the bracelet. And then I'm gonna bring the black string down and do a regular knot. So now you have 2 strings poking out of this bracelet on the forward side, and you're thinking, huh, that's weird, but wait, let's say I wanna switch back to white. And you'll be thinking, that doesn't really make sense because I can't really bring the white up. But wait, the white's kind of already up for you. It's already poking out here. So you can just take that white string and then just make a regular half of a knot, bring that black string down. Let's say I'm switching to another color, so I don't want black again. So bring that black string down, and now you have a perfect switch. Look at that. It's great, and it's less messy than doing it the other way, I think. And it kind of accomplishes the same thing, but it's just faster. So that's how you kind of go about alternating. And also I'm going to modify the pattern again because there are no color switches on an edge, which can be really confusing to people. Because what I used to do was I would do a flat alpha technique on the edge, but then I'd have the string poking out and it would look really weird and kind of bad. Here's an IKEA bracelet I made when I first learned the flat alpha technique, but before I knew that you had to do this special thing. So let's say I want to switch to a blue string, and so using the flat alpha technique, like I said earlier, you can kind of play it out in your head. You'd make this knot with the white string, then you'd bring the blue string up, and then this blue string would kind of be poking out over here, which is not optimal. So the reason why I showed you the normal switching technique in the beginning is because you're just going to be switching using a normal switching technique. I'll start by bringing this blue up, and then I will bring the white string over and down, so kind of switching these two, and this white string will go underneath the bracelet like that. Then the blue string can just switch like regularly, so I'm doing a straight edge technique, so that's why I'm doing a forward backward knot. And that's just a regular switch. So you can kind of ignore the flat alpha-ness when you're switching on the side, but I personally like the flat alpha technique for the rest of the bracelet. So I'm just gonna undo this really quickly because this is not really how the pattern goes. There's no white dot there. But anyway, I hope this was helpful. I know other people have made flat alpha videos, but I just wanted to make this video to clarify the technique. I did mention it really briefly in my 6 alpha tips and tricks video, and I kind of showed it quickly, but I didn't discuss the special scenarios, so I hope that this video was a little bit more clear and clarifying, and I hope that it overall helps you. So happy knotting, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to check out my Instagram, you can. It's Alex Innovations, and you can buy this bracelet on my Etsy if it hasn't sold already. Both of the links for those are in the description. So thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!